Hello, everybody. I'm finally got myself live. I don't know what was going on, and you just can't make this stuff up. Let's see if. So, if anybody is out there and going to join me, it will be a marvelous. I think there are some people there. Uh, right, let's have a look. Just going to send some messages on here because lots of people have been waiting for me to go live. um, right, let's just see. Right, folks, thank you for your patience. What a day of shenanigans. What a day of shenanigans. But I can see some people coming in now. Thank you. Oh dear. This was just a nightmare. There I am at last. Hello, Sylv. I don't know. I've been having major issues going live. Just unbelievable. And I don't know if I can just put that down a bit. Wait a minute. Whoa, let's see if I can move the camera. Hang on. Let's put it there. Does that work a bit better? Yes, I think it does. There we go. So, hello, Jay. I have had a day of shenanigans, total shenanigans. Hello, Richard. And I just can't believe that I've been all this time trying to go live and I really didn't quite get it. I don't, sometimes, the technology beats me. I have been live streaming for years and I've been using StreamYard for quite a long time and I really don't know what was going on. But never mind, we're here now and isn't that good? And so I just decided I was going to crack on and really work through it. I'm not a quitter. I don't quit. So I try very hard to get on and to find the answers. So hello, it's Teresa. Hello, Teresa. Nice to see you there, Teresa. And Sylv's coming in, Richard's coming in, Tracy's coming in. Good evening from Paynton. I think that must be Tina. Is that right, you, Tina? There we go. How am I? I'm looking well. Thank goodness for that. Oh, I don't know why I'm looking well. I should be so stressed out. What a day I've had. You can't make this stuff up at all. Just let's see. Oh, Rhonda's in there now. Some of my gang coming in. My new gang, that a lot of new friends that I've made. Patricia, thank you. Nice to see you. And Tam, thank you very much for your message. I will respond. I noticed it just now, and thank you so much for responding. That was brilliant. But it was a day of total shenanigans. So let's go through my days. and before COVID, I had an audience. Oh, you're loving my scarf. Thank you. Yes, it's pretty, isn't it? This one. Before COVID, I used to go all over the country, going to see my family. I used to live stream lots on the island. And then, I'd go off and see the family. And every time that I went to see the family, I'd get travel shenanigans. Mostly it's travel shenanigans. And so things would happen like I would be told to go to platform 1 and then for my train, and then I'd hear a notice that was an announcement that was saying, your train is leaving from, well, it didn't say your train, but whichever train I was due to be on is leaving from platform 24 in half a minute. So I'd would no way get from one end of Waterloo to the other end of Waterloo in time, or wherever I was going. I had all sorts of, just so many things happened. I was on a train once when the announcement, there'd been a lot of shenanigans for everybody, not just me. And then announced the announcement on the train said, this train is going to, I don't know where this train is going to. Hello, Rachel. Nice to see you in. Facebook user who's put a heart. Can you let me know who that is, please? Oh, right. So that's, let me know who that is. This one is Paul. That's Paul. Okay. Hello, Paul. Paul, that's lovely. Oh, Paul and Rachel, excellent. That's lovely coming in there. So nice that you could come in. Good morning, Hazel. So I've had the most awful shenanigans. This live stream was supposed to happen at 7:30, And here we are, half an hour later. But never mind, as I say, I'm not a quitter, so I am here. And I've got two gadgets. Maybe that makes it even more difficult. I don't know. But if any of you can, oh, it's Mandy. Hello, Mandy. Nice to see you. Tracy, hello, Tracy. Nice to see you in. Just amazing. So shenanigans all the way today. So what happened? Well, yesterday I had a phone call from my surgery, and they wanted me to go and collect something to do with peak flow. I got to do some peak flow testing to do with my breathing, but she didn't explain much about it. But I said, well, do I have to come there? They could send part of it to the chemist, so whatever that is. And I didn't know what I was going to collect. Hello, Kim. So I said, okay, all right. I couldn't go yesterday, but they wanted me to go urgently, right? So, within the next day or so. So I decided today I would go to the surgery, but I would go because I had my granddaughter's birthday card to go out and post. So I was going to post my granddaughter's birthday card, and then I was going to go to the surgery, and then I was going to get back on the bus and go to Tesco's. You would think that was a simple enough. Hi, Kat. Nice to see you. I've had an hour of shenanigans trying to get live, but everybody's coming in, and it's really nice of you all to join me. So, you would think, wouldn't you, that was a plan, a basic enough plan. Getting the number 37 on at the bottom of my road at 2:30, going down to the post office, dropping off my granddaughter's card to the post office, getting back on the bus at that top of Union Street, going down to the Esplanade, changing buses at the Esplanade to go to Tower House. Well, that was the point at which everything started to deteriorate because I wasn't watching the road. I was on my phone and just keeping an eye on where we were going. And suddenly, instead of going right down Park Road, we turned to the right along Bennett Street, I think it was. And suddenly the bus stops and I said, oh, this bus is obviously on diversion. I hadn't looked and I didn't know that it was on diversion. So this bus is on diversion. Okay, so they let me out in Bennett Street. Well, there is not a bus stop in Bennett Street going the way that I was going. There's a bus stop on the other side, but not on the same side as me. What I didn't think to say to the driver was, when I come back, because I wanted to continue in the same direction. I wanted to go from there, carrying on to Tesco's. I wasn't going back home. I was going to Tesco's. So I'd be on the same bus, the same bus route. So I didn't think at all to ask the bus driver, would the bus stop here in the street where there's no bus stop and no notification of what's going on by Southern Vectis? So I came out of the surgery. I looked at my phone app and I could see that I got 2 minutes and a bus was due. Well, normally I would get on in Monkton Street, and it said the Monkton Street bus was coming in 2 minutes. Well, if it had been coming to Monkton Street stop, that would have been brilliant because I would have made that bus stop in 2 minutes. But I had to go round the corner and up the street. Now, I've had breathing issues. I had pneumonia a year ago, and it's taken me over a year to get better and to really get well. But that's why the surgery want me to do the peak flow. It's all to do with my breathing. So we're testing it out today, definitely. So it would have been wonderful to go on the straight to the Monkton Street bus stop because I would have been on the level. But oh, no. It couldn't be as simple as that, could it? Definitely. So I went back up the street to Bennett Street, where I had got off the bus. But of course, there's no bus stop to stand at. I did fix it. Gaz, hello, Gaz. I fixed it. Somehow I worked out how to get my shenanigans with my technology sorted. Anyway, so I went up to Bennett Street and I stood there. No, it told me there was a bus coming in 2 minutes, and I had gone up there, but there were no bus came. It said it was coming in 2 minutes, but no bus came. So I'm standing there like a lemon, not knowing whether a bus is going to come. So I then went back to the end of Bennett Street to look up Park Road, which is where they were coming down, and they should have been coming down and along, but I saw them coming down and going the other way. And I thought, oh my goodness, I don't know what's happening. I do not know what's happening here. So I looked I looked at the bus stop opposite, the one that for the buses coming the other way. If I wanted to go home, I could get a bus there and go home, but I didn't want to go home. And the reason why I wanted to go to Tesco's, that was another shenanigan. Any of you who know me over the last year will know that most of my shopping comes online now. Because I had all these issues with my health, I did all my shopping online. Lots of you will know that I use cashback, and let me give you, anybody who doesn't use cashback, let me there we go, there we are. If you don't use cashback, look down there. When all my shopping that I do online, I managed to get cashback. Most of it I managed to get cashback on. And so if you go through that link, you could get cashback on yours as well. You will get a bonus as that, and we both benefit from that because it is a link, an affiliate link. So you benefit, I will benefit. But I have been using cashback for a year, and I'm really delighted with what it's done for me because it's given me money back off my shopping. Who else gives you money back off your shopping? I think, no, never mind, that's good, isn't it? So when I first started getting my cash back, you love my videos, thank you. There we go, that's lovely, Teresa, isn't it? There we go. When I first started getting cash back, I realized that if you changed instead of taking cash, if you switched it to a reward, a voucher, I'm fine, thank you. If you switch it to a voucher, you get more for your money. So I switched one lot to Tesco's, and I then switched some to Morrison's because I shop around in different stores, see what the best bargains and who's going to give me the best deal each time. And if you don't shop with one for a little while, they then decide to try and entice you back and give you another voucher. So, I play the system, but I'm retired and I've got time to do that. So I had converted some of my cash back to vouchers. So I had a vouchers for Morrison's and a vouchers for Tesco's. What I didn't realize was that you could not use them on your online shopping, which meant I had to go to the store. Well, the Tesco's one was £10 and the Morrison's one was £20. Bit of a faff going all the way to Tesco's. That's for me, 2 buses and all the shenanigans that go on in between, like today, to spend £10. But I wasn't going to lose my £10, and my bus pass is free. So I thought, well, as I'm going part way there, then let's just go the rest of the way there. So I came out of Tower House surgery, and that's why I was heading away from home and wanting a bus that was going in Bennett Street. Well, I went into Bennett Street, and by this time, the bus that said it was coming in 2 minutes was no longer showing on my app because it had obviously gone. But it hadn't gone past Monkton Street, and I hadn't seen it go in Bennett Street. So I don't know where it went. Anyway, so I decided to walk to look at the bus stop of the buses coming the other way and see if it gave me any information that I could vaguely understand as to what was happening on the buses, because there wasn't any information on the app. It said that they were on, it said there was an issue, but it didn't give me, I couldn't find the information. So it didn't tell me on that bus stop there. So I thought, right, let's walk down to Monkton Street, which is a bus stop I should have been able to use. Now, I couldn't use that because the buses come down Park Road, and Park Road had a blockage in it. So this bit had a blockage, and the bus stop I wanted was beyond the blockage. So the bus couldn't get to the bus stop I wanted. Right, okay. So I went down to look at Monkton Street bus stop, and I couldn't make any head nor tail. And actually, it's all very small. It's on the bus stop, and my eyesight isn't as good as it was. And it had a route of where the bus was going, but it had a blue line, and the blue line was obliterating the name of the street that it was on. Now, if you've got hours and hours to stand there and sort of work it all out and look at it on a huge map, you might be able to work it out. But the fact that they've put the blue line along the name of the streets that the bus is diverting around isn't very helpful. It's also not very helpful that the bus app goes it links with the bus stops. Right, so it's all right when it works, but when it doesn't work, it's a total nightmare because and later on when I called a bus driver who actually explained, um, he said the app links with the bus stops. So if they don't go past the bus stop, it can't tell you where the bus is. Which made perfect sense. So anyway, I asked people down there, I said, do you know if the buses are coming? No, the buses are not coming along here. So anyway, I went back to Bennett Street and stood there for a little bit longer, and then I saw some school children. And don't forget, it wasn't a very warm day today, and I haven't been going out when it's cold since I had pneumonia because I'm very wary of catching cold or anything like that because I was so ill and I almost died. And I don't want to go there again. I've got lots of things to do before I pop my clogs, and I don't want to pop my clogs because I caught cold because the buses were on diversion and Island Roads couldn't tell me what was happening and Southern Vectors couldn't tell me what was happening. So so what happened? So how is don't forget to give me comments if you've got any comments to give me. Do chat amongst yourselves. Anyway, so I went back up to Bennett Street. Don't forget now, I'm walking uphill and I've had breathing issues over the last year. So I couldn't see anything on the app, no buses. I did. I saw a bus come down Park Road and then it went down Dover Street. So I don't know where that was going, but it didn't come my way. So I saw some school children and they said, oh, well, they said you need to perhaps walk up to the library. Well, the walk up to the library is a steep road that I'd come down on the bus. If I wanted to catch the bus stop the other way, it was a long walk and an even steeper hill right up to St John's. Oh dear. At this point, I was nearly giving up my quest to go to Tesco's and get a taxi. But do you know what? My £10 voucher that I was going to spend on my shopping, I didn't want to spend it on a taxi fare. I've got free bus pass. So I wanted to use my free pass to go to. It doesn't make any sense. Shenanigans like mad. Oh, is Susan in the broadcast? If she's not, Kath, can you tag Susan Renouf? Because I don't think she came in. She was waiting to find the live stream, and I'm not sure she's joined. Oh yes, she has. Good evening. She has. There she is, Susan. Oh, that's brilliant. Sorry, wasn't sure if you were in. But you are. And Hazel's in there from Australia, and lots of people are in. Some of my crafty friends that I've made recently. I made a lot of new craft friends over the last few weeks, and quite a few of them in the in the weeks and months before that. Anyway, let's go. So where did I get to? I feel a bit like Ronnie Corbett, who used to tell his stories and he'd go off at a tangent and a tangent and a tangent. You don't think I saw you, Susan? I'm glad I scrolled back because I did see you there now. I'm glad you're here. So there I am in Bennett Street. Now, I don't know how long's gone past and it's getting colder. And, I really didn't want to be faffing about like this. So fortunately, I wasn't on a time issue. So that was okay. Anyway, I met some school children and some schoolgirls, and they they tried to help me, and they said, they weren't quite sure what was happening. Oh, they were the ones who said go up to the library and get the bus there. I said, oh yeah, then I've got to walk up this very steep hill. Anyway, in the end, that's actually what I did. I went up to the library, and I caught the bus up at the library that was coming down and into Bennett Street. So I walked up there for nothing. But these schoolgirls were trying to help me, and so that's what I did. And so I walked up there, and then got the bus that came down to Bennett Street. But there's nothing in Bennett Street to give you any information. But what I forgot to tell you was when I went down to Monkton Street to look at the bus stop that the bus should have gone along, it should have gone past. There was a number of the Island Roads on there. So Island Roads are the ones who are closing all the roads off, which is why all the buses are on diversion. So right, let's ring Island Roads. So I ring the number on there, Island Roads, and it says, this is the emergency number. I thought, well, they're not going to think I'm an emergency. I'm a silly old lady stuck out in the street. Well, they're not, but I didn't care. I was going to stay on. Thank you for tagging those people, Susan. I'm going to stay on the phone and talk to them. So I said to them, look, this is ridiculous. I'm standing here. The buses aren't coming. I don't know what's happening, but you've closed the roads. And now what happens? And he said, well, we don't know what happens with Southern Vectis. So the Island Roads just closed the roads. And the bus driver I spoke to later said I only got this notification just now that I was on diversion. So the bus drivers haven't got a clue where they're going half the time. and oh, so wait a minute, what did I do? Yeah. Oh, I before I rang Island Roads, I rang Southern Vectis. Well, I asked Siri on my phone to find the number. Oops, shouldn't say that because it's start finding the number now. To find the number of Southern Vectis, which it did, and I rang the number that it gave me, and nobody answered. So this is really useful. You've got all your buses on diversion. You've got the number. You're ringing Southern Vectis, and nobody answers the phone. That is really, really helpful. I know that I've got a member of staff in who has sent me a message, and I'm really delighted that somebody saw my post, has acknowledged that I had an issue, and wants to help me either make a complaint or wants me to feel satisfied at the end of that, and that is good customer service. It's something that she's not able to do online. She's not allowed to comment because of the rules of the bus company. But how wonderful was that person reached out to me. Not going to name that person because that's not okay, but I was absolutely delighted that somebody reached out to me on my Facebook page privately in the messages. And that's all I want is answers. And I wanted to get on a bus. So having walked all the way up the hill, I could see a bus was coming. I could see two buses were coming, and I thought I was probably going to miss them, but they were going to come past me, and I was going to flag them down and look like a mad woman in the street, flagging them down if they came past me because I didn't get to the bus stop in time. So anyway, I got there, and the number 3 was just pulling away. And so I tried to flag him down, but he pointed that there was another bus behind him. So at which time I had time to get to the bus stop. Hi, Andrea. I had time to get to the bus stop. So the 3 went, and I got on the number 2. And so the number 2, that was the driver I was talking to. And when I actually got to Tesco's, he did explain about how the times on the app are connected to the times on the bus stop that they go past. So if they don't go past the bus stop they're supposed to go past, they disappear into thin air. I don't know. So anyway, so it's just you can't make it up, can you? And so I mean, I'm glad I have a wicked sense of humour because it sometimes isn't funny. And a year ago when I was so ill, all that sort of thing wasn't funny. But I see a funny side, but it's not funny. This is lack of coordinating. The Island Roads don't connect with the Southern Vectis. Southern Vectis don't put any information out. I'm there standing in a street where there's nobody to help me, except there were some school children passing by, and just total nightmare. Anyway, so I walked all the way up to get the bus that was coming all the way back down to where I was actually standing originally. So we then end up at Tesco's. And finally, I go into Tesco's. Now, don't forget, I think I told you, didn't I, that I'd converted my top cashback vouchers into a Tesco voucher and a Morrison's voucher. Well, I used my Morrison's voucher the other day because I was in Newport, and I'd had a lift in, but I didn't have a lift coming the other way. So I thought, right, Morrison's is right by the bus station. Let's cash in that Morrison's voucher, which I did the other day. So I've had these for months. I've had these since July, these vouchers on my phone. Now, do you think the shenanigans stop there? No, of course they didn't. I went into Tesco's, put my phone on to find the voucher in my phone, and guess what? This is not a secure connection. We cannot connect you. Right. So I've come all the way to Tesco's to use a voucher for £10. That is actually not going to spit the voucher out. It's not going to give me the voucher. I thought, no, I have to do something about this. So I went to nearer to the door of Tesco's, and then it gave me the voucher. It showed me the voucher. So at this point, I took a photograph of it because I thought when I get to the till, it probably won't be visible again. So I took a photograph of, of the a screenshot screenshot, and I saved it in my photographs. So when I got to the till, I was able to use my £10 voucher. I also had a £2.50 Tesco's club card voucher that I'd had for a long time. So that was good. And I'd gone to top up, do a top up. I do one big shop every month when my pension comes in. But I was running out of the fresh stuff, like my salad stuff and my yogurts and my little cheeses. I'm doing Slimming World at the moment, and I don't buy things in that are wrong and that don't fit into the plan. But I'd run out. The fridge was looking a bit bare. So that's what I thought I'd do. So I did get these things. But you know what? All's well that ends well. As I say, this evening I've had somebody reach out to me to want me to phone in about my southern vectis issues, which I really, really appreciate. That's amazing. Thank you very much if you're still watching. And then I was round the store, and I spotted somebody, one of my neighbours from further down my road, and I spotted her, and I know that she's got a lot of trauma going on in her life. Okay, not going to talk about it, not going to say the name because we don't need to do that. But funnily enough, I'd been thinking about her. It was somebody who was very, very kind to me when I was seriously ill, and then when I was coming out of hospital last year. She herself had been very poorly, but she helped me over an issue last year about coming out of hospital. I saw her I knew there'd been some stresses in her life, and I meant to message her and hadn't, one of those situations. And then I saw her the other day walking her dog. So I called across the road. Was it the other day or was it this morning? Might have been this morning, or might have been... No, it was this morning. It was this morning. I think because I was rushing down the road to catch the bus. That's right. And I couldn't stop to talk, but I just sent greetings across the road and sort of blew a kiss, I think, or a hug or whatever, and went to catch my bus. But funnily enough, hello, Barbara. Nice to see you. Another one of my lovely crafting friends from across the pond. We have several across the pond, I think, coming in here now. And so Barbara's coming in on YouTube. So those of you on YouTube can see the YouTubers, and those of you on the Facebook page can see the Facebookers. So there we go. So anyway, I thank you, Susan. Susan's tagging more people. That's wonderful. And so yes, I couldn't stop this morning. Anyway, lo and behold, there was this lovely lady down, I think we were down the dairy aisle, I think it was the cheese aisle or something like that, somewhere down, no, maybe there, I don't know which aisle it was, it really doesn't matter which aisle it was, but I was able to properly talk to her and ask her, and say how was she and how was the situation, and I was thinking of her and all that sort of thing. And she gave me some good news. It's always nice to find those glimmers of good news when lots of news is not so good, but she'd got some good news in amongst the other. So that was fantastic. And then I told her about all my shenanigans. I said, do you know what? I'm not going back on the bus. I said, I am going to get a taxi. There we are. I spent my £10 voucher, and then it was probably going to cost me £10 to get home again. So it didn't make any sense, did it? So that's what I was going to do. And she said, have you nearly finished your shopping? I said, yes. She said, well, I'll take you home. She lives in my road, but I knew she had so much on her plate. There was no way I was going to ask her for a lift. Even me, cheeky that I am, I didn't want to do that because I knew she was dealing with a lot of other issues. Anyway, she said she would take me home, so wasn't that kind? So at the end of the day, after all the shenanigans with the buses, I was able to get home, and she didn't come in. I invited her in, but I knew she had other things to do that she'd got on her agenda today. I said, but remember where I am, because she's one of those kind people to me. I owe it to be kind back to her. So that was nice. I was absolutely thrilled. Do you know what? It gave me a warm, fuzzy feeling when she offered me that lift, and I didn't have to be out in the cold getting taxis or shenanigans with buses. If I'd got a bus, I would have had to get 2 buses home. And then I would have had to go via the bus station, which drives me bonkers because sometime last year, some of you who were watching my live streams will have seen me live stream at the bus station. So in Ryde, they've spent, I think, something like 10 million on redoing the bus station, right? Well, I don't know where they were when the plans went down and whatever, but bonkers stuff goes on. So when I was down there last year, I live streamed the seats that they'd put in the bus shelters, because where you used to wait for the buses was under a sort of a bit of a canopy, not a huge canopy, but you could stand under the canopy, and there were some very cold metal seats, and there were some little seats that swiveled, and if you didn't sit still, you'd end up on the floor. But they were undercover, right? They've redeveloped the bus. They call it the Ryde interchange. And they've put seats. Well, they haven't put seats. No, sorry, that's totally the wrong term to say that they put seats in the bus shelter. So they've put individual bus shelters, but they haven't put seats. They've put perches, what I call perches for budgerigars to sit on, because they're so high that you can't sit on them. You have to lean on them. And, what sort of person does that? So when I investigated last year and said, why have they put perches instead of seats? I was told so that the homeless can't sleep on them. How awful. What an awful society do we live in, that we can't even have benches for our homeless people to sleep on. Just unbelievable. That is so unchristian and so unkind, but not only to the people that are homeless, but to the residents of Ryde and the visitors to Ryde. There are lots of us elderly people who perhaps want to sit on the benches while they're waiting, but they're not benches. You can't sit on a perch. Well, it's just too ridiculous. So anyway, I did another video down there today. I will put it up, but I haven't put it up yet. I didn't do a live stream. I did it as a video. But when I queried it last year, I queried it with the leader of the council, and other people had told him about it, so he's going to do something about it. Well, something got done, but not a total resolution, because why would you resolve it properly when you can make it more awkward and more difficult? So they have put some seats in, some real seats that you can sit on, but they haven't put them under the bus cover shelters. Instead of taking away those and putting proper seats in, because don't forget, they don't want the homeless to be undercover. They would much rather the homeless sleep on a bench over here in the rain, because they don't really want the benches for them anyway. So let's get them in the rain, and let's get them cold, and let's have them die on our seafronts. No, that is not okay. So what they did, they didn't take away the perches that were under the covers of the bus stops. No, they put the perches alongside, but in the open air. No, they didn't put perches. They put proper seats in, proper benches in there. So why would you do that? You do that to satisfy people like me who are moaning and saying we haven't got seats, but actually it hasn't solved the issue. It's totally not solved it. Totally shown how awful the people are who are making these decisions. Dreadful. I will be writing to the leader of the council. He probably won't like it. He and I were friends before, and when I was asking him about something else, an issue in Ryde that I actually forgot to see if that one had been resolved, he got I'll say arsey with me. Maybe not a word I usually use, but in fact, funnily enough, It was over an issue. In the background, I've got my my TV screen on, and on my screen, all my Google Photographs scroll all the time. So I've always got lovely photographs there. Scrolling right at this very minute is the issue of a blockage on the pavement that I queried last year, and then the leader of the council got cross with me. He said, "Oh," he said, he said, "Why are you giving me a personal attack? The thing is, he's the leader of the council, and he's the one who can give us answers. So me talking to him about an issue that needs resolving." And he said I was personally attacking him. So, I don't know. Who am I supposed to talk to? I know I can talk to the bus stop, but the bus stop won't answer me. Anyway, but the shenanigans, as you know, didn't stop, did they? I had this wonderful lift home from this wonderful person who needs lots of love and kindness herself at the moment. And so I got home with my shopping. I was nice and snug indoors very quickly. And then I tried to set a live stream, and then I spent nearly an hour with more shenanigans. Shenanigans just follow me around. But you know what? You just have to sometimes see the funny side of it. Life is pretty tough. Yes, I know. But you can sometimes just have to find the chinks of humour in it all, because otherwise you'd go totally insane. So, that's what I was doing. But I have to tell you that I went out originally to post my granddaughter's birthday card, and I am so thrilled. It was one of those things that I was absolutely thrilled with. I will put a picture up of it after the birthday. I don't think she sees my Facebook page, but I will wait until after the birthday. And so I will put it up, but I am thrilled to bits with it. Green is her favourite colour, so it was a very green card. I don't mean green as in eco, but just the colour green. She loves makeup and things like that. And I had some, lots of I'm into my paper crafting, and I had recently got some dies to cut out shapes that were hairdresser type things, makeup type things, bottles of nail varnish, hairbrushes, all that sort of thing. So I could make lots of greetings cards along those lines. So I did it, and I went to YouTube for inspiration, and there were various things. I looked at something by Louise Iced Images, which I might use for another family. I've got another family card coming up. Facebook user, whoever you are, can you let me know? Hello, but can you let me know who you are? Because you're coming in from the Go Live Granny community group, and the rules are... The Facebook rules are that I don't know who you are unless you give permission. So you would have to go to streamyard.com/Facebook and tell me who you are, give it permission, or just tell me who you are on here. Okay, so I know who I'm talking to, because I always like to know who's coming in and have a chat with people. So yes, so I was... Oh, it's Carol. Hello, Carol. Nice to see you. And Kim's coming there from the States. So we got people in from the States. We got Hazel in from Australia. I'm not sure if we've got any Canadians in tonight. We have so many lovely people coming in. And so anyway, I'm really pleased with the card. So I was very inspired by a card that Louise of Iced Images does. She does some beautiful cards, and if you're into the craft making, do look up Louise of Iced Images. And she does some live streams and that, and she's just lovely. She's just my sort of person. And I haven't met her, but and I haven't really seen her. You only see her hands when she's doing her live streams, but I do have a chat with her, and I love what she does. She does some really wonderful cards. And then of course there's Sam Calcott, who is also one of my favourites. And it was on this occasion it was Sam that won over, because I did a card that opened up, and it had big fans up the side, and it had like a cake in the middle. So I decided to take out the cake, and instead of a cake, make the cake into a dressing table. And I put makeup on the dressing table, and then I cut out a piece of mirror card for a mirror at the top. So I just transformed it, and then on the outside it was like a bat. It folded all up, folded down, all up, and it was a bit of a showstopper. And then on the outside of it, I embossed it with a lovely crisscross pattern and with some gems to make it all look super duper, because you can't have too much sparkle in my world. Helen's saying, yes, Helen, I can see you. You're watching through Facebook. If you watch through normal Facebook, that I can, it tells me who you are. It's only if you're coming in through the Grow Life Granny community group. It's groups that won't let me see. Yeah, so there we are. That's another of my neighbours, Helen from down my road. Hello, Helen. Hello, Jake, if you're there as well. Jake is Helen's son. Helen and Jake, I used to meet regularly. They lived down my road, but I didn't really meet them in my road. I met them out on the, I think, on the carnival scene, and they were always catching the same bus home from me when I used to live stream the carnivals, and I think they introduced themselves to me that way. I think, they'd caught me they'd seen me out being Go Live Granny around there, so that's how we know each other. I'm pretty sure that's how it was, wasn't it, Helen? Unless I've got that wrong, but that's my memories. But then, of course, my memory is not as good as it used to be, but I do have some wonderful memories. But last night, while I was making my granddaughter's card, and it was a long haul. It wasn't one of those I make in 5 minutes. And I was prepared to do it. Yes, it was. Helen's saying it was. That's how we met. Excellent. So last night at like 11:10, I spotted on one of the craft in one of the craft groups that I'm now in, because recently, some of you know, I've defected from one of the craft companies because I didn't feel that I was treated very well, and lots of the customers decided the same. So lots of us have defected, and we're now finding all the other craft companies out there that are marvelous. So one of the craft companies I've been watching is Craft Mania, and Jamie is the face of Craft Mania. And somebody had tagged me yesterday, and they tagged me into a competition in the Craft Mania group. And I only saw it at 11:10 last night. And it was a competition that was closing at midnight. Can you believe it? So I stopped making my granddaughter's card. But the thing is that if you there's 7 weeks of competition, and I do like to win a prize if I can. That's it. Gaz and I were in the same company. The company what shan't be said what it is. That's right. We're not mentioning it. No, we're no names there. So anyway, Craft Mania is a lovely craft company. So we will mention all the nice ones as we go along, and we will, you might work it out by association of not being mentioned. But anyway, we're not going to mention it. Oh, Carol, it's Ben's birthday. Happy birthday to Ben, Carol. Hope he's had a lovely time. So anyway, so at 11:10 last night, I saw this competition, and there were 7 competitions over 7 weeks. And I thought, well, I could let that one go. But if you entered every week, there was a much bigger prize at the end of the week. And you know me, I do like to win something. I won a lucky dip in the lottery the other day. Wow. I have won a few prizes along the way. So I thought, right, have I got time to make it? The competition was ending at midnight last night, right? And it was 11:10. And what you had to do, it didn't matter to me. It didn't, I wanted to make a nice card, but I didn't have to spend obviously a long time on it, because there wasn't a long time to spend on it. But it got me into the entries for the rest of for the bigger prize later on. So there was a £10 voucher each week, and you know what? Even a £10 voucher to me is just anything I can get. To get some more free goodies is fantastic. So I stopped what I was doing, read the rules again, and read them again, because you have to do various things on these Facebook competitions, and I wanted to make sure I got it right. So any of you crafters out there who want to do it, you can enter each week for the individual week's prize, but because if you've missed yesterday, you can't do it for the big prize at the end. But never mind, all the little prizes is worth going for. So it was the colors of the rainbow. So you had to make it, you had to put #violet on your post when you submitted your picture in your post, and you had to make it was something crafty. It didn't have to be a card. I think it could be knitting or something like that. I think it was any craft form, but it had to be around the purple color palette, you know. So it didn't have to be violet. It could be lilac or any shades in the purple sort of range. Well, it just so happened that I had a half-made card from Purple Card. Wow, that was good, wasn't it? Because some of you, now this is not purple. This one, I really must send this off. This is one of my favourite pop-up box cards, and I do love that sort of thing. And so these are very quick and easy to make. I had a blank, this one, that I had made the blank, and I'd started this card but hadn't got anywhere far with it. So I whipped it out very quickly, and look, I finished off a purple card so that I could go into that competition. I didn't expect to win because there were some really, really beautiful things in there, but it got me an entry in there, and it was just fun to do. And now I've got another card that can go in into the charity collection. This one will go to Rate Rebecca for the Embracing Age charity, and what they do is they send cards to people in care homes who don't have families, and they send a card every month of the year. So the more cards they get given to send, the better. So I won't write happy birthday or anything on it, because they send them whether it's their birthday or whether it's just a new month in the year. So I thought that might be a nice one to cheer somebody up. So that finished that card off. Thank you, Tam. You had a crafter's mind block when you were making cards. Yeah, I made some Mother's Day cards. My own mum passed 2 or 3 years ago. She was the grand old age of 96, so she'd had a lovely long innings. So I didn't have to make for her, but I did make, because I do the crafting for other people and raising funds for charities. I did make a couple of Mother's Day cards. So you always need to talk to me, Tam, and maybe I can help you there. Thank you, Barbara. So these pop-up box cards, absolutely brilliant. And I've seen them in lots of different designs from lots of different people. I've made them more square. I've made them with the flaps coming down on the side. But this design I actually like the best. It folds flat to go in a card, and then it pops up. And I just need to put a piece of white on the back so that whoever has this card can write on it for who it's to. And you can see it's got sparkle and glisten. Thank you, Barbara. Carol, I can teach you. I can give you a lesson if that's you, Carol. I can send you to a tutorial, yes. Message me and I'll send you a tutorial for where I got this one. If you go onto YouTube and put in pop-up box cards tutorials, loads will come up. But this one was done with daisies originally, and it looked so lovely. Some of the other ones I've done are squarer. They were squarer, not so big. This one I like, and sometimes they leave the flaps on at the sides, but I actually like this one where they took the flaps off. So that was nice. So yes, I've done loads of these. I've done a pop-up toolbox. Hello, Susan. Yep. Susan's saying, yes, it was. You'd like to do it too sometime with you, please. Yes, absolutely. Susan, let me know when you've got time off. Or if you've got a Friday morning off, I know you're in Newport, you can come to the hub at Newport and join us there. These are so easy to make. And once you've made them, you won't, you'll just love it. What I do, I'm going to go into this box up here, which is very lightweight. And the reason it's up there, the reason these things are up there is because I can do just that when I'm sitting here in my chair, without knocking myself on the head. So don't put heavy stuff in the top boxes, put light stuff. And in there, I have saved all my packaging like this, because on these cards, those flowers are mounted on pieces of packaging. That's what they're stuck on packaging like this. Never buy it. Always use your packaging. I never ever buy any of this for that, because I have this thing and I just pop them all up there, ready to make all those cards. So I've done it as a toolbox. I think Carol, your daughter bought one for somebody who wanted like a Spider-Man theme. And of course, Spider-Man is like a copyright. So I said I couldn't do it because of the copyright, but I could do something along the theme. And it was for a young boy, I think 4 or 6 years old. And so what I did was I made it in red and blue, and I think I did have the flaps on, and I had an embossing folder that was a spider's web. So I embossed the card in the different colours, and then I put various bits to give the idea that it was Spider-Man without actually breaching any sort of copyright. So that was wonderful. I've been, I think I've done so many different ones. I love them, and I've been collecting so many dies now. So if anybody's watching and they don't know what a die is, I've got lots of dies in here. Let's show you. This is all my little storage boxes here. Whoops, there's a die for a pair of. Whoa! Well, it was a pair of scissors. It's gone on the floor now, so I won't scrabble down there and get that. This is a die that cuts out a basket shape. So it's the metal bits that you put through a little machine, either a hand machine or electric machine, and it cuts out loads of shapes. So I have collected loads and loads and loads of shapes. I've got balls of wool in here. Look, there's a nice ball of wool. And we've recently made some super ones with sewing and balls of wool and that sort of thing. I've got some that I've just received from Sam Colcott, and it was Sam Colcott whose card I used to inspire me for my granddaughter's card. She'd done it with a cake in it, that's right, so it was her. But Sam Colcott, she does a lot of inspirational stuff, and I've just bought a collection of hers, and they are craft items, the tools that you would have on your craft table, and it's so exciting. That's just come, and I want to have a play with that. One thing she did though the other day, she did a technique I've never tried, and I'm going to try it. But it's called shrink wrap, and some people will know it. I was never really thrilled by it in the past because you had to do things, and I wasn't quite sure what it was, and then you had to put it in the oven and shrink it, and it was all too much for me. Sam did it the other day. So basically, you stamp onto this special plastic, that shrink wrap plastic, and then she just heated it with a heat tool. So she'd stamped out the thing, some sentiments, some nice sentiments that were big, and she heated it with a heat tool, and it shrunk them down to make little. Right. Yes, I have. Temu is brilliant. I have got loads of little craft things off of Temu, because because I'm doing for charity, and lots of people have lots of different ideas now. So somebody likes horses, somebody likes painting, somebody likes a toolbox, they want a toolbox, all the different things. I can buy more of them if I buy off Temu, than craft companies. I mean, I love lots of the craft companies, but Temu means I have been able to expand my range, but at a much lower cost. So yes, thank you, Carol. I presume that's Carol I'm talking to. Tracy says she saw Sam do that technique with the craft item. She said that was tiny score, but absolutely, yeah, Tracy. It made me so excited, and because I had done my cashback. Don't forget, if you want cashback on your purchases, so lots and lots of, there's over 4,000 stores on cashback, and you just if you want to know about that and you want money back off your shopping, let me know, because it's been brilliant. So what I did, no, I think actually I was using another cashback site, because Tonic Studios is another wonderful craft company, but they're not on cashback and they're not on Quidco, the ones that I mostly use. But I did find them on another cashback site, and on that cashback site, I converted my cashback into Amazon vouchers. So I had Amazon vouchers, and then I saw shrink wrap plastic being used. And so guess what I spent my Amazon vouchers on? I spent it on shrink wrap plastic, and I was going to do that on my daughter's card, my granddaughter's card last night, but I literally ran out of time. I finished that card at 5 o'clock this morning. You know, it would have been earlier if I hadn't put in, stop to do this card in the middle, but it didn't matter. I didn't care. I'm retired. If I stay up in the night to do something like that, I then sleep on. My sleep hasn't been great lately, but last night went to bed at 5 o'clock, and apart from a couple of trips to the loo, too much information I know, I slept right through till nearly 12 o'clock today. So, and it was a good sleep. It was a good sleep. So that's good. So I haven't done much except get ready and go out and come back and have shenanigans. I haven't even had my tea yet, so I'm going to go and eat in a minute. And then I've got some clearing up to do, because when I made my granddaughter's card, I'm not a tidy crafter. I end up with stuff all over the floor, right? So if I pulled out some stuff, I'll just pop it down on the floor. So that's all over the floor. I've got to go and pick all that up before I start again. But yes. So Tracy was saying that Sam did. I don't think I've got those things, that set from. I've got that set, Tracy, that Sam was doing it with, all the little. So you can shrink wrap things like a scoreboard. We have a scoreboard for scoring the card. We have guillotines. We have all sorts of different things, and she's replicated this in a set of stamps and dies, and she's got some lovely paper, background paper that you can use on your cards and all that. And I just can't wait to have a go. But of course, as I say, I didn't do it on my granddaughter's card because I wanted to get the card in the post. I wanted to get some sleep, which is just as well, because I had shenanigans, and without sleep, I think I might have ended up in tears, but I didn't. So anyway, so just too many nice things. But my daughter's got a birthday coming up, so I'm sure that I can manage to get that technique onto her card sometime soon. And guess what, folks? Not only have I been crafting, but I've been back to my knitting. And anybody who's known me for a long time knows I was a knitter long before I was a paper crafter. And this is one of my favourite knitting books, A Knitted Aviary. Look, you can see my knitting needles peeking out the top there. And so I have just made, or I'm in the process of making, the blackbirds. So look, there's a blackbird. He's got one wing. There's another wing, and there's a tail. So then I've got to make the beak and the feet and put that together, and that is going to my youngest grandchildren. They have got a lovely bedroom that's like on a park theme, and so I wanted them to have some birds that they could recognize, so I'm going to do that. So you must get your die cutter out of the cupboard again. Absolutely, Carol. It's just it's wonderful. I don't know how I got to the age I did before I ever bought a die cutter. I don't know where. I must have been hiding under some rock somewhere, not knowing about them. The roads on the island are awful at the moment, and the trains are not running. Oh, I didn't know the trains weren't running. I never used the trains because my bus pass I don't think works on the trains. I can only use it on the buses. So anyway, yes. So this book is marvelous. So I'm going to knit a range of birds for my grandchildren. So look, there's some lovely birds on there. There's a robin in the tree. There's a kingfisher. Look, and a pigeon, and all sorts of things there. So it was lovely to be doing the knitting again. I can sit on my bed and knit. Am I making any chicks this Easter? I might, if I know that there's a charity that wants them. Or yes, if there's a charity that wants the chicks, I will be doing chicks. I do all sorts of things all through. I am going to do a live stream on Friday. It's Red Nose Day on Friday. I very wrongly told you that it was last Friday, and then somebody corrected me and said no, it's not, which is great, because I'd already got my red nose that came from Amazon, but I wanted something else Red Nose Day, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to watch my live stream on Friday. So I've got something else Red Nose Day, but I haven't yet sorted my hat out. Well, I do. I have an idea that I've got something that can go on my head, but I don't know where it is. I've got to go and rummage in the cupboard. It will be in my dressing up sort of things, I'm sure. Wouldn't any of the residential homes like something like the chick? That's what I was thinking, Susan. I will ask Rebecca if they're doing any of those sort of things. I'm sure some people in the past, the the champion at, what do you call them, the people's champion at Morrison's used to ask for those. They asked for the chicks, and then we'd make the chicks, and then they would put the eggs in them and sell them for charity, to raise money for charity. But you're thinking that they might like the chicks and the eggs actually to give to the care, the residents of the homes. Maybe nice idea. Just thinking of the charity you do. Yes, absolutely. I will message. I will message Rebecca. Anybody who's interested in making cards for that charity, if you're free on Monday, next Monday afternoon, so that will be the 18th. I'm doing. I'm leading a craft workshop for actually making cards for the charity. So that's up at Aspire in Ryde from about 1:30, quarter to 2, something like that. Check with the times with me because I've got to double check with Rebecca. But come and sit and have a crafty afternoon with us. They supply some hot drinks, and we supply, well, Rebecca has supplied a lot of card and bits and pieces of paper and embellishments and things like that. And I probably will take a few sparkly bits along to add into it as part of my contribution. So that's on Monday. I'm doing that once a month at Aspire. So this is anybody here on the Isle of Wight. So if you want, on Friday morning in Newport, Friday morning we do make all sorts of different crafty things. And then what was I going to say? Yeah, so from then we have started making things that we can sell for charity there. But you can come in and make things that you want to. Yes, Carol's saying, do you remember when we made Easter? I think it's Carol. Do you remember when we made Easter bonnets and had an online parade? Yes, this was during. I didn't remember, but somebody reminded me the other day that during COVID. So of course I started live streaming to show off the Isle of Wight, and when COVID came, we couldn't do live streaming out in the big wide world. So we had to do other things, and one of the things that somebody suggested that was we made an Easter bonnet parade and put our pictures up, showing off our pictures. We couldn't parade, but we could parade in our own homes and put pictures up. So that was nice. What day or date is the Ride one generally? The Ride one is going to be a Monday, but we're trying to put a second. So it's one a month in Ride at Aspire. We're trying to put a second one in because I've agreed to do at least a second one there. But they're trying to fix dates at the moment. But the next one is this Monday, the 18th. All right. But then, Susan, you're a friend of mine. If you want to come over and have a craft session with a cup of tea at my house, please do, because I know you and it's okay. So I'm not offering that to everybody, only to the people that I know. But otherwise, I'll do it elsewhere because I think of my safety. So what am I doing? So. Yes, so I've gone back, I've gone on to the knitting. I've done, I'm doing these cards. I'm itching to have lots of lots of different techniques and things. I've got some more kits coming. One of the companies that we that lots of us crafters now have found and sourced is Tonic Studios, and that's an amazing company. That's the company that did the dies for this beautiful bouquet of flowers. This is a gift box for anybody who hasn't seen it. It's going off to somebody soon. It is earmarked for somebody. So they make the kits like this, and they had a sale of kits the other day. Whoops, that's going to fall off of there. Let's put it on there. They had a sale of kits the other day, and I always like a bargain, so I use my money for the bargains, and then I get cash back on that as well. And so that Tonic Studios, this was a Tonic Studio kit as well. I didn't find it through Tonics. I found it through somebody else. Somebody in the craft world knew I was looking for it and found it on Etsy for me. And I was delighted with that. And of course, I made Gaz a gold and black teapot the other day. It's all a bit of fun. I haven't started my Ferris wheel yet. I'm hoping to get the Ferris wheel started soon. So that's nice. I have been prepping. I haven't got all the Easter stuff to hand. A lot of it's over there at the moment, and I'm not getting up to go and get it. Those lovely, yeah, absolutely. Right, so look, this is a little Easter basket. This was another Sam Calcott one, and so simple and so easy, because Sam, not Sam, Jan, who runs the Isle Access charity, who I go and help do the craft workshops on a Friday. She wanted me to prep some Easter stuff, so I've got some Easter baskets. I've got some very intricate Easter eggs. I have prepped on a range from all skill levels. So anybody who hasn't done much crafting but wants to get involved, I've got very basic. Something like this is very easy and basic for somebody like that. Going up through the ranges, because I don't know who's going to turn up. I don't know what their skill sets are going to be. So so Carol's saying that's a very pretty basket. It is so basic. I made that in a very few minutes, not very many minutes at all on that one. So that was nice. I have got a fair range of other stuff, but what about those lovely curls you made? Will you make more? Absolutely, I will. I will. Watch this space. I'm always making curls. Actually, I've got some here. So this is what Carol's talking about. Look, I make wigs with curls on, but I made all sorts of different coloured wigs, haven't I, Carol? And Andrew, I don't know if Andrew was watching in. I think he might have been, or I know he was intending to watch, but the original 7:30 broadcast, he was intending to watch. But he had a wig from me. Paul had a wig from me. Paul had one that was all. Was it Paul? Had one that was all blue, and he was running for a charity. I just love making these sort of things. And, I've got a multicolored wig. I've got different colored wigs. I did one for all yellow because it was Go Yellow Day, all sorts of things. I've got so much wool, and making curls like this is so easy. Bearing in mind, I didn't learn to crochet until I was 68. I'm 73 now. And I was determined to learn, and I just love doing all this sort of thing. So I'm so pleased that I've got all my craftiness, but I'm pleased that I've gone back to knitting as well. Because for the last year it's been all about paper craft, but it's like this. Recently my hands started sort of saying, come on, we're missing those knitting needles, we're missing those crochet hooks. And so I'm splitting my time, and I might sit and watch a program here and do some knitting, or I might go, sit over here and do. I move all around my flat to do my work. I work on my bed sometimes if I need to rest my legs up. I'm making it all work, so every area of my flat is a craft station, except not the toilet and the bathroom and not the kitchen area, but the rest of the area, all crafty, so that I can do all my crafting. But I've got so many wonderful things I want to share with all of you, and shrink plastic is very soon on my list. I must give that a try. Tracy saw it, she loved it. So just it's just another thing. I've got the heat gun, so I haven't even got to buy the heat gun, and I got the plastic, the shrink wrap plastic, because I got a voucher, so that was good. So I try to keep my crafting on an economic basis, and of course when before I was ill, I used to go out and have lots of coffees in town. Now I don't go and have lots of coffees in town. I buy myself craft stuff instead of spending all the money on the craft, on the coffees and the eating out. So that's it. So folks, I hope you've enjoyed my little story of my shenanigans. And even then, shenanigans trying to get live on the broadcast. So I'm sorry that you had to wait so long, but thank you for those of you who persevered here and stayed till we've been an hour and 8 minutes now. There's still a few of you here. That's nice. We just need to share and let more people have the fun and the love of what we're doing here. So if you have enjoyed it, keep watching. I'm probably going live at 5 o'clock on Friday, so that's Red Nose Day. Just a general chit chat, maybe some of your red nose stories you might come along with. I've got a story about how I went out with my your trouble getting on meant you didn't miss any. Yes, Susan is pleased that I had trouble getting on because she would have missed the broadcast. If I'd got on at 7:30, she would have missed some of it. So she didn't mind because I was late. Every cloud has a silver lining. I always say that, you know. um, and Carol's saying, and as well, I don't drink and I don't smoke. Absolutely, I don't drink and I don't smoke. But crafting is extremely good for your mental health. Those crafters on here will know that. So really good for your mental health. And then if you're just at home making a lot of craft stuff and you don't have enough people to give the craft stuff to, do what I do, and then work with charities so that they can benefit. Oh, Patricia, thank you for being in here. Long time no speak. We must try and meet up sometime soon. It would be nice, wouldn't it? But lovely that you were able to come in here and join us. It's just lovely. So as I say, Friday probably at 5 o'clock, and I will try and make sure I know what I did when I eventually got live tonight. See if I can crack it. I think I've worked out how to do it this time. It was to do with different browsers, I think, on my phone because I'm live on my phone. So I think I think I sorted it. So hopefully we might have a few jokes, things to make you laugh because they say do something funny for money. Well, I'll try and do something funny and make you laugh. You know, but and then I'm doing it at 5 o'clock because I think the actual broadcasting for the evening for Red Nose Day is a bit later on. You'll have to get up early on Friday. Sorry about that. Sorry, Hazel. Tracy's saying my house sounds like her house. Her spare room is the main craft room. Your conservatory is the second craft room. You craft in your living room with you. Absolutely, Tracy. And you know what? I live on my own, so it doesn't matter. Thank you, Susan. 7 o'clock BBC One on Friday. Yes, so I'll go live about 5:30. So yeah, Tracy, I live on my own, so I don't have anybody to consider, you know, where my mess is, and I'm a messy crafter. I can't help it. I have friends who come to the house, and if they don't like the mess, then don't come. It's not about, you know, it's not about that. It's if you like, you know, and as I said to the person who dropped me off today, I said my house is an absolute wreck at the moment, my flat. I said, but you're welcome to come in a cup of tea. We might have to move something so that you don't trip over, or you know, we might have to vacate a seat. I'm working on it, and I am making a lot of progress, and I have thrown a lot of things away. Things from my past life that are not craft have gone out. You know, that those things you hang on to forever, and you think, "Why, I haven't used this in 5 years. Why would I want it now?" Right, Tracy lives on her own too. Good job, so she can have crafting all over. So that's right. And I have got myself some lamps. I put the light on here. I don't know if that's better or not. I'm not really good with the lighting, but I got these lovely LED lights that really light up because when you're a crafter, you need to be able to see what you're doing. No gloom and doom here. So at first I had one and I used to move it around the flat, but as we've gone along each time, you know, I've got a bit more money. I've bought myself another one. So I've got one here. I've got one over the other side because kitchen here. This is right by the radiator here, so it's nice and warm here. And then I've got a sofa over there, two sofas over there. I can sit and craft over there. I've got a dedicated craft room, which is my second bedroom. That I'm actually really organising it, and I'm making every inch count. Tomorrow, my friends are coming again, and John will be with his drill, I'm sure. So he's going to. I've got another set of these in a container, and I've got because I found that in my craft room I got some Kallax units. So that's a Kallax unit from IKEA, and I've managed to sort of save up and get Kallax units in part of the room, and then I put one up on the desk at the side of the desk at the side of the computer to actually build space upwards because of course that's all space there. And then I realised that on that one I could have a set of these fixed on the side of the unit. So John fixed those on last time he was here. They're coming again tomorrow, and so hopefully I can get him to put this next set on where they need to go. So I'm getting more organised as we go along. Um, and Susan's saying absolutely doesn't bother her. She comes to see the person, not the property. Do you know what? And the thing is, if it, you know, if people don't like that, and I've had so many people come in and out of my life, some very critical people who tell me what I should do and what I want to do. No, when were you in charge of my life? I do what I want to do, and I won't let those toxic people are now gone from my life. You know, the ones who say how my life should be. It's all about what I want, not what anybody else wants for me. You know, those bossy old people. And Carol, you sound so like me. When she's crafting, she uses at least 5 pairs of scissors and glue. Absolutely. I've got scissors and glue in here. I've got scissors and glue in there. So I don't have to keep moving open, you know, moving things all the way around. They do hide. You know, you go for a pair of scissors and it was there just now, and suddenly it's not there. The worst thing is these dies. And if you drop one of the, I've got in this room, I don't have carpet. And so if one bounces here, it will bounce. And instead of being there where you dropped it, it'll be right over there. You know, and you don't find it for ages and ages. But I do have one of those telescopic magnetic tools now that one of my crafting people told me about. And so I can now, if it falls and it's within reach, but a long reach, I just get out my magnetic tool. But then I lost one of those. So I had to buy another one. Now I've got 2 of them. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. What are we like? But if we're happy, it doesn't matter, does it? Do pens missing? Yeah. Do you know what? While I was trying, while I was having shenanigans trying to log in, I had to keep getting a code, and it was an 8-figure code, and I had to remember the code and go to a different screen to put the code in. And do you think I could find a pen? You know, I've got a drawer full of coloured pens in the other room because I'm a crafter and I've got glitter pens and all these other pens. Do you think I could find a pen anywhere near me here where I was sitting to try and write that code down? I couldn't remember 8 numbers all in one go. It's the house pixies, Lynn. They take them and then they put them back. A bit like the borrowers, isn't it? In the story of the borrowers, the people who live under the stairs and come and take things away. It is very much. I can't blame anybody. I live here on my own. I can blame Trixie. Those of you who are new to my channel, I must get her over and introduce her sometime. I've got a doll. It's a puppet. And one of my lovely crafters, one of my lovely community sent it to me way back in COVID time. And I used to entertain with this puppet, and she's called Trixie, and we blame Trixie for anything. So she's the house pixie, Trixie the pixie. She's not a pixie really, but she's a fairy. But she's very mischievous, and we always blame Trixie and what happens there. So this is the house they do. Where's she? I can't get her at the minute, Carol. She's right over the other side of the room, and there's some things in the way. But I will get her. I will get her down, and I'll bring her over, and we can reintroduce Trixie, and she can come and see what's going on over here. At the moment, she's doing some sort of acrobatic. She's upside down. She was sitting up on the top of a Kallax unit, and obviously, at some stage, I pushed the Kallax box in like this. And I must have caught her feet in there. And as I did, she toppled and I didn't notice. And she's hanging upside down on one of these boxes. I'll take a picture and show you. But yes, so Trixie's over there causing. No, she's not being too bad, but I will bring her over. So anyway, I think we've had a bit of fun here, haven't we, tonight? I like people joining in. It's lots of fun. And it lightens the shenanigans of the day. So tomorrow, I'm very grateful to the person who messaged me on my Facebook message, and private message about talking to Southern Vectors tomorrow. I didn't like the fact that that Island Road said to me, "No, well, we don't have anything to do with Southern Vector. We don't know what the buses are doing." Hazel's remembering Bertie Bassett. I'll bring Bertie Bassett in for those of you who don't know too. Hazel's been a long-time viewer of mine, and Trixie used to get up to mischief with Bertie Bassett. And Bertie Bassett is a doll. He's the licorice all sort man. that used to be in all the adverts for Licorice All Sorts, and he's a tribute to my dad. I made him as well. Yvonne and I made him together. We made half of him each, because my dad was always on about licorice all sorts, not just because he liked to eat them, but because he was a local preacher, and he used to take licorice all sorts into church and talk about people being all sorts of people, and his sermons were so interesting. And he caught the imagination. Sylv saying her mum loves licorice all sorts. Well, my dad did. And when my dad passed, I had a Bertie Bassett flower tribute to him. It was amazing. Even that was amazing, because I walked into the florist, and the girl who ran the florist, she looked at me and she knew I'd come in for some floral tribute. She didn't know what tribute, but she didn't know me. I suppose it was just, she got that, and she I did a lot of flower deliveries for her after that, when I still had my van. But I went in, and she said she knew I wanted a tribute, and so she showed me some books of beautiful arrangements. But you might have gathered by now that I'm a bit wacky, and I don't do things that by the normals. I don't know what normal is anyway. So I didn't want one of those beautiful little tributes like that. I didn't tell her what I did want, but the next picture she put down on the counter was a picture, a floral tribute of Bertie Bassett that she'd done for somebody's nan. And I said, that is exactly what I came in to buy. And so that was wonderful. And, it was amazing. It was a beautiful, beautiful. No, yes, Sylv saying normal is, for normal, read boring. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad I'm not boring. I don't want to be boring. I hope I'm not. Some people did. I must tell you about a guy. When I started doing videos, long before other people did videos, because my son teaches social media, and we were always early adopters. He would spot something and then share it with me and say, we need to get on video, we need to get on live stream. So we've been live streamers for years and years, long before most people. But just because I followed what he told me, and I was doing some video, and video before the live stream. And this guy messaged me, and he said, I've seen your ridiculous little videos, and you are the laughing stock. So do you think he was trying to pull me down? And do you think he succeeded? He did not. You have to remember, years ago, when I was little, I was a very shy and very nervy person, but I've changed a lot over the years. And so people like that who try to put me down, they end up feeling stupid themselves because of the way I handle them. I messaged him back, and I said, I said, thank you so much. I know what a busy man you are. And, laughing is always the objective. Absolutely. And I said, I know you're such a busy man. So thank you for taking time to watch my videos. And I'm so glad that I'm making people laugh. Don't forget, he said I was the laughing stock. So I was obviously making them laugh. I said, I'm so glad I'm making them laugh, because laughter's the best medicine. Oh, by the way, if you don't like it, scroll on by. I have never heard from him since. He has not tried to put me down again. Silly man. What a daft man. And then I had some other people who were really horrible to me. When you go online and you sort of put yourself out there like I do sorry, rephrase that. When you appear a lot on people's screens, people will be nasty for some reason, best known to themselves. I don't think it gets their happy hormones going. I don't know what it does, but it certainly can't get their happy hormone. And I had some people really being horrible to me when I was running a network business, and they were being really nasty and vicious. And they were saying things, and I would come in. I don't rant usually on there. If I've got a story to tell, like I could have ranted about the buses, I didn't. I turned it into a right. Let's have a live stream about the shenanigans. But I can remember a girl doing that, and she was being horrible, and so she said something, and so I came in with a polite comment, And then she was nasty again, and I came in with a polite comment. And in the end, she didn't know what to do. She couldn't handle it, and so she left. And I think it made it so awkward for her. You know, there was she being the good person and the bully online, and then just because I was being nice, she couldn't cope. If you don't like laughing, your life must be really absolutely. Even in the darkest days in my life, and I've had some pretty dark days, I've still tried to find a chink of humour in anything, even if it was pretty dark black humour, you know. There we go. And Susan's saying, yes, some people are only happy if they are upsetting others. Says more about them than the person they are treating badly. Absolutely. You know, and I always, you know, there's that phrase too, isn't there? Never look down on anybody unless you're giving them a hand up. You know, so you're helping them and improving their lives. I really don't get why people have to be so nasty. I was brought up in a Christian home, and taught to people as well, and I hope I have done most of the time. I know that, you know, some people don't think I have, but whatever, I tried my best. I've done my best. Yes, Tracy's saying laughter gets you through the harder. It absolutely does, Tracy. And probably one of the only times I found it really hard to laugh, but it was only a very short space of time, was when I was almost dying just over a year ago. You know, and I was at death's door, and I didn't find life very funny. But I tell you what, it didn't take long before I bounced back, even when I wasn't fully, you know, back to health. On the way back, you know, I found that humour soon perked up in me. Gaz is saying I treat him well. I do. I try to, Gaz. I do my best. Might not always get it right, but you know, I have a go. Uh, That's it. So Susan's saying she was always told if you have nothing nice to say, then say nothing at all. Absolutely. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything. I'd sooner treat people how I'd expect how I'd hope and expect to be treated. Absolutely. Um, Laughing would have used up too much breath anyway. Yes, when I was at death's door. Absolutely. So I had to just be, you know, but it wasn't very long. You know, it really wasn't very long at all. I was seriously ill, and it took a long time to recover. But the laughter recovered before the rest of the body did, which was good. And some of the people in here, that I know you're new to here, Sylv and Tracy, but some of the people in here have been in this community a long time, so they can bear that out. They will, you know, and there's some of the nicest people going. It's just nice to get together, boost each other up, even if you can't actually get together physically, which we couldn't in COVID, you know, so we had to boost each other up online. Anyway, I'm getting thirsty. I'm getting hungry. And I want to do a bit of tidying so I can do some crafting. I'm not going to go to bed as late as I did last night. Went to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, but then slept through till 12 o'clock lunchtime because I'm retired. Don't wish your lives away, folks, but when you do get to retirement, enjoy. I'm really enjoying my retirement from a life where I skidded around at 900 miles an hour. You know, I've always, yeah, no. So it's just nice to slow down and do. Some days I actually just sit and look at my craft stuff. Sometimes I don't actually craft, but there you go. Anyway, folks, thank you for sticking with me. You've been amazing. Next definite scheduling of a live stream is 5 o'clock on Friday, but I might do something in between. I don't know. Whereas I used to do them so regularly and you knew exactly when I was coming on, I do them when I feel like now, when it pops up. So you'll just have to go with the flow. And you found me, even though I popped up an hour after I said I was going to pop up. Thank you so much. Love you lots. Take care and I was going to say have a wonderful weekend, but we haven't got to weekend yet, have we? Have a wonderful week. Bye.